Hey mama, if you're listening to this, you might be carrying a secret that feels too heavy to speak out loud. You look like you got it all together, you serve at church, maybe you even lead a Bible study. You smile when you drop off the kids, but no one sees the other side of you, the one that comes out behind closed doors. At home, you are a completely different person. You yell, you explode, you scream at your kids, sometimes in their face. You tell them to shut up. You grab them too harshly. You throw things across the room. You smack them in anger, twist their ears, spank them in rage, and immediately after, you are hit with a tidal wave of shame. You cry alone in your room and you whisper, "God, what is wrong with me?" You feel scared and disgusted by your own reactions. You're terrified that someone might find out. You wonder if your kids would be better off without you. You feel unworthy, broken, and too far gone to be redeemed. You try to fix this on your own. You listen to podcasts, parenting books, download freebies, but nothing changes. You keep falling back into the same patterns, and it feels like you are stuck in a cycle that you can't break. You don't trust yourself anymore, and if you're honest, you are afraid of who you've become. But here's the truth, Mama. You are not beyond hope. You're not alone, and with God's help and the right support, you can change. I'm Elizabeth, a mom of 4 and an anger management coach for Christian moms. And inside my Calm Christian Mom coaching program, I guide women just like you through a powerful transformation. This isn't shallow behavior management. We go deep. We address your triggers, your stress, your mindset, your nervous system, and the spiritual root behind your patterns. We invite God into every layer and walk hand in hand towards healing. In just 12 weeks, you can become a completely different mom, unrecognizable. One who leads with patience, not panic. One whose children feel emotionally safe around her. One who cultivates peace. This summer, I'm offering a Calm Mama strategy session, a powerful 15-minute one-on-one coaching session designed to help you uncover the root of your anger and receive spiritual, emotional, and practical support. It's your chance to experience what coaching is like with me before diving deeper into ongoing support. If we both feel like the full program is the next right step, we can talk about what that looks like for you. You don't have to keep living like this. Your family is worth healing, and so are you. Use the link in the show notes to book the Calm Mama strategy session. Do you ever feel super upset when something doesn't go your way? Maybe it's when your kids don't listen right away. Your husband's schedule changes last minute, and now you cannot go out with your friends. School gets canceled due to bad weather, and there you go. Your solo plans are out the window. You're stuck in traffic when you're already running late. Your husband doesn't do what you ask him to do, or does something specifically you're asking him not to do. The items you need at the store are out of stock. The baby wakes up in the middle of the night again. Your child gets sick right before you go on vacation. These are the moments that can send us spiraling. But the truth is, it's not the situation that is upsetting us. It's our thoughts about the situation. And this is exactly what I'm going to teach you in this podcast episode. I recently got a question from a mama. How can I be adaptive when things don't go my way? I have a really hard time being positive and go with the flow and easygoing when things do not go my way. So we are going to talk just about that in this podcast episode. And before we do, speaking of being adaptive to the circumstances that you are given, recently on our coaching call, one of my clients that is about 8 weeks into the coaching program shared a win of being adaptive to the circumstances that she is given. She struggled with a lot of negativity and really poor attitude when she joined the program. feeling a lot of rage and reactivity. And this is her win that she was sharing with the rest of the mamas on the coaching call. And I want you to listen to it because it's so amazing the transformation she already received in just 8 weeks by working together. So listen to her testimonial and then we will get into the podcast episode.
Yesterday, we got an email from my daughter's school. She would normally have school today, and they actually canceled school to make up for a snow day that they didn't use at the last minute, on top of her being off tomorrow and Monday. So usually Thursday is like one of my kid-free days. I have everything that I want to do, and I'm going to be honest, normally I would flip out. I would be like to myself, not to her. But once my husband told me I would normally have an attitude, I would just be really annoyed and just kind of let that derail me because what I wanted to have happen didn't happen. But when he told me that, my first reaction was, okay. I was annoyed, but I was like, okay. I didn't let it sour my mood the whole night, which is not like me. I typically would. And then I made plans to just kind of be okay with things not going the way that they were supposed to go today. So her and I actually had a really good day today. We went on a coffee date and at this local cafe in town, and she was so happy that a lady, as we were waiting in line, is staring at her. She says she just looks so happy to be here, and she was like really happy, and it made me so happy just to spend time with her. It's been a while since it's been just her and I. She helped me clean, so I actually brought her in on my cleaning. And I said, do you want to help mommy clean? I have to do some laundry and clean the kitchen. She's like, yeah, yeah, yeah. They get so excited. And she helped me do the laundry. She wanted to do everything. And I kind of just let her. And it was really nice to spend time with her. We just hung out on the TV, on the couch watching TV after that. Probably had too much screen time, but we kind of just chilled together and it was really nice. So I was able to turn that unexpected news and not to let it derail me into having a really nasty attitude and being annoyed and irritable.
What a beautiful example of being adaptive to the
Yeah.
circumstances that you are given and making the best of it and using that time to connect with your daughter instead of dwelling there. Well, this is not how I wanted my day to go. I wanted to do XYZ and have alone time and all this. It is what it is. It's not what I thought it was going to be. One of the phrases my coach says, this isn't what I thought it was going to be, and it's better than I expected. And so what a wonderful example of, being adaptive to the circumstances that you are given, choosing a good attitude, going with the flow, and then using that as a wonderful opportunity to connect with your daughter and just make a fun memory with her. I'm so proud of you. Seriously, how great is to hear that testimonial of a mama who struggled with a lot of negative mindset and just being really triggered and frustrated and upset when things don't go her way, to literally be able to turn her whole day around and become adaptive to the circumstances that she was given in that moment. So let's talk about that. How did she do it? What are the steps that she took? How did I teach her how to do that? And how did God help her through that? So what do you tell yourself in the moment when things are not going your way, when you're not getting what you want? Like, have you ever paid attention to what thought you have in the moment? A common thought that I hear and that I've thought myself a lot is, this shouldn't be happening. That thought is what fuels the frustration. It turns that disappointment into resentment, inconvenience into rage. You thinking to yourself, this shouldn't be happening, or they should be doing this instead. This should happen instead. The fact is that it is what it is. If you're thinking, my kids shouldn't be doing this, and then they are, what then? Or you think to yourself about the weather, well, it shouldn't be raining outside because we planned a birthday party. Well, guess what? It is. Now what do you do? What do you choose to do next? So the fact this shouldn't be happening, that thought contributes to a lot of frustration. So I'm going to give you some personal examples that have recently happened in my life where things did not go the way that I expected them or wanted them to go, and how I chose to be adaptive to the circumstances that, God provided. So recently, my daughter, this was past Sunday, refused to go to childcare at church and just would not sit still in church either. She's almost 4 years old. She typically goes to childcare without any issues, but the last 2 Sundays, she chose not to. And I tried being with her for a little bit. I tried walking away while they just kind of held her, and she had a massive meltdown, and I knew that it would just not go well. So I took her back and she sat with us in church. And after about, 15 minutes, she wasn't sitting still anymore. She started to make some noise. And even though we were on the balcony, it's just there's people sitting there around. So it was time to walk out of the service with her. I was feeling frustrated. Okay. I wanted to enjoy the service and pay attention and be able to hear what the sermon was about. And I did not like the fact that she didn't go to childcare. My first thought was, well, she has been to childcare before. She should be going there. Well, the fact is that she wasn't. So now what? What do I do next? So I caught that thought. I'm like, well, this isn't going the way that I thought it was going to go. What am I going to do now? So I came out of the service, and there is like 2 Sunday school classes that they use right before you enter the sanctuary. And in one of them, they actually had a little bit of toys and some coloring, pages. And so I chose to go in there with her and just have her color while I continued to listen to the service on the TV. Wasn't ideal, but that's how I chose to adapt versus getting really upset about the situation. So in this situation, I decided to adapt to the circumstances that I am given. Have I always done that in the past? No, there were plenty of times where I didn't, but I'm learning to do that a lot. The other example was a couple weeks ago. It was my husband's and my anniversary. We rented not a crock ratchet. We went a slingshot to drive around St. Augustine for a day. Somebody was watching our kids. And then we decided to grab dinner in downtown St. Augustine. Well, by the time we parked and we went and walked down there, the restaurants were really full, like all of them that were really nice that we wanted to eat at. The waiting line was at least 30 minutes, if not more. And by the time we would actually sit down and get our food and then had to drive an hour back to pick up our kids, it would just be too late. And so the plans got kind of derailed because the restaurants were full, even though we paid for parking and we walked all the way over there. And not too far ago, a day like that would completely really upset me. Like a situation like that, I would get really frustrated and maybe even have a poor attitude. Well, I wish the restaurant was open. Man, seriously, why do we have to go pick up the kids now, and now we don't get to have a nice dinner that I thought we were going to have? And instead, as we're walking back to the car, again, I'm thinking to myself, well, this isn't the way that I thought the evening was going to go. I thought we were going to sit down at a nice restaurant and have, really nice dinner, but it is what it is. And we're just going to adapt to how the circumstances are. We're going to pick up the kids. And then as we're driving home, my husband's like, what about we pick up the kids, we bring them home, put them to bed, and then I can grab some food, go, pick up some food for us. He's like, what do you want me to grab? And I'm like, well, I really want sushi. So what happened is we got the kids, came home, showered them all, put them to bed. And then my husband went and grabbed some sushi from Green Papaya. It's not too far away from us. And then brought it home when we had dinner. Way later than we thought. But that was a way that I chose to be adaptive. And these are the moments that in the beginning, it felt like a loss. It felt frustrating because things weren't going the way that I envisioned them to go until I reminded myself, well, this is not going the way that I thought it was going to go. What am I going to choose to do now? Okay, because fighting with reality makes you frustrated. Okay, when you fight with what it is, with the facts is that the restaurant is full and there's, a long waiting line. That's the fact. And we don't have enough time to wait that long because we need to go pick up our kids. So the fact is that the restaurant is full and that we don't have the time to wait and it's time to leave for us. So those are the facts. If I am arguing with the reality, what I think it should be in my brain, there should have space, right? In the restaurant, we should be able to eat. Well, how can I take ownership? First of all, we never made a reservation. So we can't just be upset about that. That's just silly. But just arguing with what reality, how it should be happening. Well, it is what it is. So now what? Or arguing with the reality that my daughter should be going to childcare because she has in the past. Well, guess what? She's not in the mood to do that today. So now what? What do I choose to do now instead of arguing what should be or shouldn't be? Okay. So the new thought is I choose to be adaptive and positive in the circumstances that I am given. And here's the thing. One of the things that I teach my clients in my coaching program, in the very first week, we create an identity statement, a positive statement that encompasses the character qualities that she wants to grow into as a mom. So what my personal identity statement right now is I am disciplined in my morning routine. I am a sunny presence in my home. I choose to be adaptive and positive in the circumstances that I am given. So that is my I am statement that I write out every day and I speak over myself every day. So when I have a situation when things are not going my way, because my natural tendency is to fight against the facts, against the reality of what it is, I tell myself, well, this isn't going the way that I thought it was going to go. I choose to be adaptive and positive in the circumstances that I am given. And it's your mindset, your perspective in that moment. You say it out loud. You let your kids even hear it. And you model adaptability. If you have a circumstance where something is not going your way, you're stuck in traffic when you're running late and you have a full car of kids in the car, and things aren't going your way, you can literally speak this out loud. You're like, well, this isn't going the way that I thought it was going to go. Well, what am I going to do now? I'm going to choose to be adaptive and positive in the circumstances that I'm given. What am I going to do now? You literally say it out loud to your kids. Model that adaptability to them. My friend, it's a choice. You can argue with reality or accept it, because arguing with it does not change it, right? You can accept it and decide to move forward with peace. And I'm talking about accepting things that are out of your control, the circumstances, what other people think, say, and do, because you cannot control the circumstances and you cannot control what other people think, say, and do. You can only control yourself. And when you take all this energy to try to control what is out of your control, you feel so frustrated, triggered, angry, moody, negative attitude, and all the things. And in my Calm Christian Mom Coaching Program, we spend a whole week learning about self-control instead of other control and circumstantial control, and how to have a good attitude and how to be adaptive. We spend a whole week of multiple lessons diving into this topic, and we talk a lot on this topic on the coaching calls with moms, because this is something that comes up a lot. When you have a tendency to want to control the circumstances and then things are not going your way, or tendency to want to control your husband and your kids, and they have a bad attitude, they're not doing what you want them to do, then yes, if you're trying to control what's out of your control, you're gonna feel really frustrated. Your mindset is what helps you become resilient in moments like that. It teaches your kids what it looks like to be flexible, grounded, and emotionally mature, even when life does not go as planned. And let's be honest, life rarely goes as planned. Friend, if you are struggling with this, if your go-to reaction is yelling, slamming doors, criticism, bad attitude, pouting, or spiraling into negativity when things do not go your way, it doesn't have to stay this way. This is often a sign of deeper frustration and unmet needs, and I want to help you get to the root of it. Book a Calm Mama strategy session with me. It's a 15-minute coaching call where we will uncover the patterns that are keeping you stuck, and I'll share some practical first steps that you can start taking immediately to shift your reactions and move forward to have a more peaceful home. This is your chance to try out coaching with me and see if you want to take a further step into joining Calm Christian Mom coaching program. You can start showing up as the mom that you want to be to your children, even when things are not going your way. I would love to connect with you. Book your Calm Mama strategy session. The link is in the show notes. Let's talk soon. Hey mama, do you find yourself snapping over the smallest things, like spilled milk or constant whining, then feeling horrible afterwards? If you're tired of losing your temper and you want to show up with more patience, I have something for you. It's a free training called How to Be More Patient with Your Kids so you're not screaming over spilled milk. Inside, I'll walk you through 10 simple things you can start doing today to become a calmer, more Christ-like mom, even on the hard days. To get it for free, just leave a rating and review on Apple Podcasts and send a screenshot to hello@emotionallyhealthylegacy.com. Or if you'd rather skip the wait, you can grab it right now for just $27. The link is in the show notes. Let's help you become the peaceful, patient mom your kids need.